We all float down here. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. Age restriction 16 HLV. When children begin to disappear in the town of Derry, Maine, a group of young kids are faced with their biggest fears when they square off against an evil clown named Pennywise, whose history of murder and violence dates back for centuries. Rich in world and character building, it has a very long runtime, so go in prepared. Also go in prepared for almost non-stop scaring, interspersed with genuine warmth and humor. I would also advise taking a nap beforehand, because it might be a while. Critical hit 710 Rotten Tomatoes 85% Metacritic 70 Book at New Metro A Sturkinica 2D Book at New Metro 4DX Limited Run Book at Sturkinica IMAX Limited Run Age Restrictions 16 LV American Assassin follows the rise of Mitch Rapp Dylan O'Brien, a CIA Black Ops recruit under the instruction of Cold War veteran Stan Hurley Michael Keaton. The pair is then enlisted by CIA Deputy Director Irene Kennedy Sanar Lathan to investigate a wave of apparently random attacks on both military and civilian targets. Together the three discover a pattern in the violence, leading them to a joint mission with a lethal Turkish agent Shiva Nega to stop a mysterious operative Taylor Kitsch intent on starting a world war in the Middle East. We hosted a screening for this last night, and are currently collecting all your thoughts to compile for a review post next week. Look out for that. In the meantime, we will say that American Assassin is basically a dumbed-down Born Light. The plot is often far-fetched and the characters are all clichés who do really silly things, but at least American Assassin is never dull and has really well put together action beats. Don't expect anything more than a reasonably diverting Friday night action movie and you shall be good. Rotten Tomatoes 44%, Metacritic 44. Book at New Metro A Sturkinica 2D Age Restriction 10-12 PGDLS. Recently separated from her husband, Michael Sheen, Alice decides to start over by moving back to her hometown of Los Angeles with her two young daughters. During a night out on her 40th birthday, Alice meets three aspiring filmmakers who happen to be in need of a place to live. Alice agrees to let the guys stay in her guest house temporarily, but the arrangement ends up unfolding in unexpected ways. Alice's unlikely new family and new romance comes to a crashing halt when her ex-husband shows up, suitcase in hand. With dialogue consisting mostly of characters blurting out inner monologues in as much of a dry and straightforward way as possible, and a general air of artifice, Home again lacks any form of wit or charm. It's a watered-down, airbrushed and badly packaged rom-com that even manages to damp Reese Witherspoon's natural charisma. Rotten Tomatoes 32%, Metacritic 42. Book at New Metro A Sturkinica 2D Age Restriction TBC. Ebery and Toyosi have been married for 17 years and have two teenage children. Ebery is a career woman, while Toyosi is a farmer. SHE's the strict one HES school. When they hit troubles in the marital bliss, the parents insist that they go to the pastor for counseling. Just when they're finding it impossible to be in each other's shoes, they end up in each other's bodies. Now, they have to try and get by in each other's worlds, totally unprepared. I'll be honest, I know absolutely nothing when it comes to Nollywood films. Usually, I leave the Bollywood-Nollywood releases out of this roundup because it's next to impossible to find information about the films. The only reason I'm including this one is because it's a Nollywood version of Freaky Friday, and I think that's rad. Read Get Close to Pennywise in IT Float, a cinematic VR experience. Book at New Metro A Sturkinica 2D Age Restriction 16 HLV. A team of Special Forces soldiers approach the designer of a high-tech military compound to investigate the disappearance of another team guarding the facility. The compound, known professionally as a temple, is an artificial intelligence-powered facility designed for interrogating high-level prisoners. Upon entering the temple, the soldiers quickly find the earlier team horrifically slaughtered but no evidence as to who is responsible. Almost immediately, the crew begins to experience strange and horrific supernatural phenomena as they attempt to uncover who killed the previous team. I nearly snorted tea out of my nose when I read the synopsis for Armed Response. Just read it and tell me what kind of drugs someone was on when they wrote that script, got it greenlit, filmed it and actually released it in cinemas, because I can't figure it out. Rotten Tomatoes 0%, Metacritic 13. Book at Sturkinica 2D Age Restriction 10-12 PGL. Persistent wheeler-dealer Norman Richard Gere falls in with an Israeli politician Lior Ashkenazi on the rise. When the politician is elected prime minister, Norman rises in esteem with the New York Jewish community, even though his social connections might only be a sham. When a movie has a deadly combination of being highly rated on Rotten Tomatoes with a low audience rating and only screening on Nouveau Cinemas, it's either art house or total Oscar bait. Norman, subtitled The Moderate Rise and Tragic Fall of the New York Fixer, doesn't really seem like anything other than pretentious AF. Rotten Tomatoes 89%, Metacritic 75. Book at Sturkenica Cinema Nouveau. For more information about the age restrictions, click here. Last updated September 15, 2017.